there, and thanks again for joining us for another live broadcast from Rebel Financial. Today we are lucky to have Carol Ventresca join us, so thanks so much for coming in, Carol.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So just a little intro. So Carol's had a long tenure of working in a variety of positions for the state of Ohio and OSU, working with adult education and also student advisory, and we're really lucky to have her here as the Executive Director of Employment for Seniors.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be an awesome discussion because I think it's something that is everywhere out there and we don't think about it.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you so much again for having me today.
Absolutely. So explain to us a little bit about what you do to help businesses and seniors both. Because I don't even know the name. I think is kind of explanatory for your organization, but what do you guys do?
It is, and I love the name of our company because we come up on the top of the Google search. So that's a good positive. Employment for Seniors is celebrating 45 years of helping Central Ohio businesses and senior job seekers. Our goal is to create a win-win situation.
Mm-hmm.
We find incredible opportunities at businesses who are truly interested in hiring mature job seekers, find great candidates, and try to create that relationship. What we're really trying to do is to help our clients become the best possible candidate they can be.
Okay. And so are there businesses mainly reaching out to you, or sometimes are you trying to reach out to the businesses, be like, you're missing a big opportunity?
Right, and we do both.
Yeah.
And oftentimes businesses hear us word of mouth from other business relationships that they may have. Last year we posted 1,300 jobs on our job fair, on our job list. And it came from a variety of close to 300 businesses. We add another 100 or so businesses every year to our database.
Wow.
Some will only post one time, others will post continuously.
So what's your reach? Like, is it regional, national,
right?
local?
No, yes, we're local. We have Franklin County and the surrounding counties
That's
for
a lot
both
of
businesses
for local.
and for our clients. The most important thing is that our services are free.
Yeah.
To the businesses as well as to the clients. And to register with us, clients just need to be 50 years of age, living in those 7 Central Ohio counties.
Okay. So I have thought about this, and I think I discussed with you before we started that, about a year ago I had read a book, and it was talking about like some of the challenges we're going to face as a society as we continue to grow and maybe not having the skills and the people we need to work to do jobs.
Right.
And there's a lot of people either voluntarily or being pushed out of the marketplace from one place, but there's a lot of experience and knowledge and wisdom that could be utilized. So, like, how do you feel about that? What's your experience with seeing that in reality?
Well, I think the most important thing for everyone to understand is that the Ohio population is aging. Even with the influx of young students, there is also an outgo of students. So we are looking at, over the next 20 to 30 years, our population with older adults having not a majority, but a much larger percentage of our population. There actually is one county that they are projecting to be 45% older adults by 2030.
Wow.
You cannot have a growing economy if a third or nearly half of your population is not working.
Sure.
You have to keep those individuals engaged. But you also have a population of baby boomers, as I mentioned to you. Baby boomers have been creating change our whole lives.
Yeah.
And we want to continue to create change, and we can still do that.
It's maybe not just for the money, but to be involved.
Exactly. To be involved, to be engaged, we have longer lives than our parents and our grandparents had. We have skills that are still incredibly viable, soft skills and hard skills. And our economy in Columbus is growing. It's doing really well, but it can't do it if we just slough off that older population.
That is, as soon as they hit 60 or 65, just quits being productive for the community.
Exactly.
So, I think one of the things maybe that we think about, or maybe businesses maybe have a misconception, and maybe we can talk about that a little bit, is let's talk about the first one. Older workers expect a high salary, and a lot of times I'm not going to get the efficacy back out of them when I could hire somebody younger.
Right. And one of the things I mentioned is that our goal is to make our job seekers better candidates.
Mm-hmm.
One huge thing that individuals don't realize that they need to do
Yeah.
is to be a better candidate is to do their research.
Yes.
So when someone talks to them about salary, they may be thinking about positions they've had in the past,
Mm-hmm.
which are at a different level than what they're applying for
Sure.
now. So one of the main things that an individual has to do, and this is really for any job seeker, you have to know what the salary range is for the job that you're looking at.
Yes.
Even if it's not published on the job description, you do that research, which is really easy to do online. And so an employer shouldn't assume an individual is not going to take the salary of the job. That person may be coming in as a great candidate.
Sure.
So that shouldn't be a reason to not even consider them. But there are a lot of misassumptions that employers have. And what we really try to do is to work with an employer and get them to understand, number one, you have to have a really good job description. You have to
Yeah.
make sure that anybody who's applying for your job understands what the expectations are. And then we, in turn, work with our clients to make sure they understand those expectations.
Because the whole point of any employment agreement is that it's going to be good for everyone.
Exactly.
Or it doesn't work out in the long run.
Exactly.
I mean, there's probably some big organizations where there's lots of opportunity for inefficiency, but I think the trend, maybe it's going both ways, but the trend is, for smaller, more medium-sized companies, because the creative destruction of companies going up and down is so fast now that there's just not a lot of opportunity for people to not have that value proposition.
Exactly.
To say that I'm going to work and the value that I provide you is worth more than what you pay me, and we all need to be able to demonstrate that.
Right.
You know?
I think, too, that job seekers need to understand, oftentimes they'll say to me, I just want a little part-time job.
Yeah.
Even looking at a little part-time job, an employer has expectations that that person is going to be able to do the job day one.
Sure.
We grew up and started our careers at a time when employers were doing a lot more training on the job. That doesn't happen today for a lot of different reasons. So we can't go in expecting to be trained. We have to go in being able to show what value we're bringing to that table.
And that probably leads into kind of the next maybe misconception sometimes is, well, my older employees, are more likely to not know how to use the technology or adapt more quickly, since lots of work environments, if you don't change fast enough, then you're going to get beat.
Exactly. But as I tell everyone, it didn't take grandmothers very long to be on Facebook to watch their grandchildren.
I have seen that a lot too, yes.
They are learning Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter, whatever is necessary to be engaged with their family and friends. It just has to be
motivation. I think in the past it used to be that curmudgeon thing, like, I don't need technology. I think now people are like saying, maybe I don't want to change, but technology is making all of our lives better. And if I can see everything that happens in my grandchild's life, a couple, 3 times a week rather than twice a year, that's awesome.
It is awesome. And so many are really doing it with phones and tablets.
Yeah.
It used to be where everyone thought of the sort of the clunky CPU in front of them, and now everything is
lines, and that is hard,
exactly. And they're really doing it. Our clients come into us with their phones or tablets, and they're applying online. One thing I would say to an employer is, again, don't make the assumption ahead of time. Oftentimes, recruiters are not sort of up to speed on what to expect, and really need to try to be fair and understand each individual as an individual, and not push people into a pigeonhole because they're 50 and older. But we learn technology differently than what a young child is learning who does it every day in their classroom. So because we learn it differently doesn't mean we can't learn it, and doesn't mean that we don't want to learn it. Yeah. So it's just a matter of being fair to the client and understanding that everybody has the same expectations.
And it's interesting. I had a discussion on our discussion board for financial advisors, and one of the advisors was talking about that exact thing, like, how do I test for technology proficiency, just hoping that there would be like some online thing that you could send somebody. And a couple of people were like, the best test is just to have them sit down beside you and tell them to do some things without helping them, and just see what happens.
Exactly. That test would change tomorrow as fast as technology changes. So, again, if we're teaching everyone else to do technology and to learn new things, why not let that older individual have that learning curve too?
It's crazy. There's so much learning things out there just for free
Sure.
from YouTube. I saw some article yesterday about some 8-year-old that drove to McDonald's after she
Oh,
watched how
yes.
to
How to learn
learn how
on
to
YouTube.
drive on YouTube.
Exactly.
And then like lynda.com,
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn owns now. But there's so many things that you can do to learn, and like that's one thing I've even taught everybody here, and even my wife, et cetera, is like before you go like saying you can't do something or asking everybody else to do it for you, just Google it.
Well, and
You will probably find the answer and learn how to do
exactly.
something new.
Exactly. Well, you
Yeah.
can see from our website, we
Uh-huh.
started our own podcast series.
Oh, cool.
So we're doing technology that way. And farther down our page, we even do a list of going a little bit more of computer training opportunities.
Yes.
So if clients have a problem and they need to learn something, they can click there and go to various places. And the first place, we always tell them, I'm going to give a plug to Columbus Public Library, is an incredible resource, and it's all free.
Yes.
They were just doing a training program at our office last week. So it's just a great opportunity. And yes, there are ways to learn.
I was reading a biography not that long ago of Andrew Carnegie, and one of the things he was a real supporter of was libraries, and it's because as a young man, he didn't have a lot of opportunities, but there was somebody that gave him access to their private library, and he was like, man, if more people had access to information, then a lot more people would be able to have an opportunity to do something.
Exactly.
So it's awesome. So you mentioned, I mean, that's a great employeeseniors.org, and you said you guys have it optimized to when, like even when I was looking things up, you're really high on the Google searches, so it's easy to find.
You can find us. Yes. Yes.
So, what are some transferable skills, and why are they important?
This is really a critical issue, and oftentimes, and again, this is really for any job seeker, we pull together a resume and it's a ticker list of tasks, things we've done, but it never really hones in on the skills that we have and the success we've had with those skills, our accomplishments. We always encourage our clients to think about transferable skills. So a skill is something you learn. You learn to drive a car.
Yeah.
A transferable skill is something that you take from one job to another. Over here, I did Quicken.
Yeah.
Over here, I need to do QuickBooks. Easy transferable skill.
Sure.
So what you're trying to do is to hone in on not just Quicken, I did data entry for accounting, but to really look at the skill that you used, the analysis of data, the understanding of the company's operations, and that you can take that into a new environment. And now there are hard skills like the computer skills, but there are also soft skills that are transferable. Leadership skills, your ability to work with people, to be in charge of a team, to have good communication skills, both written and verbal. And those skills can be learned and honed either in a paid position or even as a volunteer. So often, mature job seekers have done these incredible programs outside of the workforce. They've worked with their church or with their kids' school or some other organization. They've been on boards of nonprofits. So you're looking at, they were team leaders, they were fundraisers, or they may have been coaches. Those are transferable skills and go from one to another. If you have a good command of your transferable skill, it's going to make your resume much stronger and your interviewing much stronger.
So that people can identify what you could do for them.
Right, exactly.
But not make it too long. You still got to be somewhat succinct.
Right. Yeah. No, you don't want, resume shouldn't go back more than about 10, no more than 15 years anyway. Skills past that are old skills. But what you're really trying to do is hone in on, this is what I have accomplished in the past. I'm bringing that value to your table, to a new employer.
I often wonder when resumes are going to catch up to like where we are. Like, and I think about it, and I was like, how awesome would it be to get a video resume of the person actually explaining and or demonstrating something or what? So I've never seen that before. And you would think with all the stuff out there, like somebody would do that.
They're doing interviewing is getting into that.
We do that.
Right.
We do it first as a web conference, then in person with like office manager, and then if we like them, then like with me and Tony. So it like steps. But I'm sure everybody's got their own process.
Well, I think LinkedIn is really taking us to those new steps in terms of what a resume is. When you're looking at your LinkedIn profile, you really are looking at your accomplishments.
Sure.
With the millions of people on LinkedIn, you're not going to be noticed if all you're doing is just listing tasks.
Yeah.
You really have to show the value that you've brought.
Oh, cool. So let's kind of get down to the meat and potatoes of kind of leaving our viewers, and obviously we have two, and it's the
Yes.
exact people that you save is senior workers. What's a good piece of information that they can take away from this that might help them the most?
This is something. This year's theme is that job seeking is a formal process,
Mhm.
and it's sort of the do's and don'ts. People make dumb mistakes in their job search, and again, even if they are just looking for a part-time job,
Yeah,
well, you want a good part-time job. You want a part-time job you're going to stay with a company that you
you're
really
happy.
respect,
Yeah,
that you're happy in. So do your homework.
yeah.
Make sure that you understand it is really a formal process. Treat it as a formal process. Don't ever go to an interviewing situation or a job fair where you're not prepared to do exactly what I just said. Show your value, show your accomplishments to an employer. So that's really hone in on putting the time and work into being a great job seeker.
Okay. So on the opposite side,
Hmm.
what would you say is the most key piece of information for businesses either looking for
Right.
for job spaces to fill,
Hmm.
or maybe missing out on the opportunity
Right.
of senior workers?
Exactly. And that's something we would love to have conversations. If an
Mhm.
employer is out there and doesn't understand the value, we would be glad to sit down and talk with them and put them in contact with employers that we work with every day. Um,
It's
and
almost like a
again,
reference.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly. And not just for employment for seniors, but for the value of a mature job seeker. My clients are 50 and over. Those folks who are 50 have easily another 15 years in the workforce. They are bringing incredible value. They are bringing loyalty to a company who has faith in them.
Hmm.
They are bringing their ability to not just see a problem, but actually take care of that problem. Focus in, do the job, do the follow up that's necessary, and take responsibility. They show up for work every day. I mean, that's over and above everything else. Employers call me and say, send me somebody who's going to show up for work every day. We really want employers to see the value in everybody in their applicant pool, but also those mature job seekers.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being here, Carol.
Thank you.
I
Thank
think
you.
this is an important thing that a lot of people overlook, and I think there's a lot of value in our entire society, but
Exactly.
hopefully a lot right here in Columbus as we
Exactly.
continue to be a growing and vibrant community,
Yes.
to work
Yes.
together to have a better life
Thank
for
you.
everyone. So thanks,
Thank you.
Carol.
Thank you very much. It was nice to see you.
So join us next week. We're actually going to be at the Osteopathic Symposium, and so we got a special treat to show you kind of what the trade show is like, and interview a couple of the people that are there with us. So we'll be coming live to you, I think, from the Hilton over at Easton. So thanks so much for tuning in again. Hope you guys have a great Easter weekend, and we'll see you next week.